Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This amendment prohibits the unelected and unaccountable Delaware River Basin Commission, the Susquehanna River Basin Commission, and the Interstate Commission on the Potomac River from imposing hydraulic fracturing regulations more stringent than those passed by the duly elected state representatives and Senate in which the regulation is to be implemented or enforced. According to the Energy Information Administration, last year, residential natural gas prices were the highest on record. That's awesome. I'm sure consumers love that. The best way to combat these record high prices is with more competition, simply more supply and demand. It's to produce more natural gas in America, in places like my home state of Pennsylvania, the second largest natural gas producer in the nation. Unfortunately, again, unelected, unaccountable bureaucrats at the Delaware River Basin Commission have instituted a hydraulic fracturing ban for a portion of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, stripping away property rights and mineral rights from Pennsylvanians in contravention of the will of their very own legislature. The result is a prohibition on the development of critical shale plays in eastern Pennsylvania that can bring desperately needed natural gas to market, and the unconstitutional taking of mineral rights of all Pennsylvanians. Using this playbook, radical environmentalists and unelected bureaucrats will next prevent hydraulic fracturing in the Susquehanna River Basin and the Potomac River Basin as well. The threat of this expansion undermines investor confidence and exploration and development projects throughout the Commonwealth and further restricts domestic natural gas production. To be clear, this amendment simply clarifies that these three commissions cannot impose restrictions more stringent than those passed by the state in which the regulation is being implemented or enforced. It makes no changes to the ability of states to regulate hydraulic fracturing as they see fit, as their legislatures see fit, as their citizens see fit. This means it would have zero impact on existing fracturing bans in the state of New York. Instead, this amendment simply makes clear that Pennsylvanians can use their property and mineral rights as they see fit, subject to the Pennsylvania laws passed by their elected representatives, the way it's supposed to be done. Enough is enough already. It's time to stop this underhanded attack on property rights, representative government, and state sovereignty, and restore American energy security. Opposition to this amendment is support for a hydraulic fracturing ban, and for higher natural gas prices for your constituents and your citizens. I urge my colleagues to do the right thing and rein in these unelected bureaucrats waging war on Americans in their very homes, and support this amendment. With that, I reserve.
Does any member seek resignation?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I rise to claim time in opposition to the amendment.
The gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes.
Mr. Chairman, the Delaware River Basin Commission is made up of representatives from the states of New York, Pennsylvania, Delaware, and my home state of New Jersey. The Commission oversees drinking water quality for the Delaware River's watershed, a vitally important role that impacts millions of people across 4 states. So Congress created the Commission over 60 years ago and gave it powers to regulate the Delaware River's watershed. Crucially, each state's democratically elected leaders signed up to join the Commission, and each state receives a vote on the Commission. 2 years ago, the Commission banned fracking in its watershed, and this wasn't a controversial decision. In fact, it was unanimous. It was a 4-0 vote to help protect the public health of the 13 million citizens in the watershed and to preserve the waters themselves. But today, Republicans want to retroactively take away the rights of the citizens of these 4 states and their elected representatives. They want to take away the powers that Congress gave the Commission just because they don't like the outcome. So I would suggest this. If you really care about clean rivers and waters, I urge you to oppose this amendment. If you care about people's right to safe drinking water, I urge you to oppose this amendment. I'd like to think that all my colleagues care about these things, so I urge opposition to the amendment, and I reserve the balance of my time.
Gentleman from Pennsylvania is recognized.
I recognize that I yield such time as he must and may consume to the gentleman from North Dakota.
Gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I rise in support of this amendment. Mr. Perry's amendment makes very clear that the state have primacy for the regulation of hydraulic fracturing for oil and natural gas production on state and private lands. We cannot allow unelected bureaucrats or independent commissions to prohibit oil and gas production activities that are safe and permitted under state law. The Biden administration and radical environmentalists are waging a war on American energy, and they want to ban hydraulic fracturing. The United States has become the world's #1 energy producer, thanks in part to technological innovations like hydraulic fracturing and horizontal drilling. According to a recent study, placing a moratorium on fracking would mean a $900 billion increase in U.S. household energy costs, $7.1 trillion in potential losses to the U.S. economy through 2030, and over 7 million fewer U.S. jobs. I urge my colleagues to join me in supporting this amendment and standing up for the American energy, and American energy workers.
Mr.
Gentleman from Pennsylvania Reserve.
I will reserve, but I think the gentleman has the right to close.
Yeah, the gentleman's correct. Gentleman from
Oh, I'll close if you want.
Pennsylvania is recognized. Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Look, if you don't want to vote for this, I get it. You can tell your citizens at home that you stand for people that are unelected. They don't even know. Most folks at home they never even heard of the Delaware River Basin Commission. They don't even know about interstate compacts. Here's what they know, that they want to live their lives and they want to vote for the elected officials to make decisions that are important to them. If it's so dangerous, how come it's banned here but not there? The rest of Pennsylvania, we do it. Mr. Speaker, this is just taking the people's rights away, their voice away from their elected officials, and it's literally the definition of tyranny. I urge my colleagues to vote for the amendment, and I yield the balance.
Gentleman from New Jersey is recognized.
Mr. Chairman, look, the governors are the 4 commissioners. The governor of Pennsylvania is the chairman of the commission. They may delegate to someone, to actually go to the meetings, but they're making these decisions. And I don't understand how, my colleagues on the other side of the aisle think that we should take away the rights of the governors who are on these commissions to make the decision. It was a 4-0 decision. If they decide that they want something different in the Delaware watershed than in their individual states, I mean, that's their prerogative. But they made this decision. They voted 4-0. So, again, I don't see the point, and I think it's, really egregious for us to take away the powers of the governors, and they're as elected, by the people of the 4 states to make this decision about fracking within their watershed. So with that, I yield back and urge opposition to